All right, we have to bring in Richard Crouse. He is our film critic. Richard, Emilia Perez leading the way with 13 nominations, followed by 10 for The Brutalist and Wicked. Your reaction to the nominations this morning?
Well, I don't think that these numbers are terribly surprising. People have been paying attention to award season so far, even though it's been, because of the wildfires in Los Angeles, it's been a much more subdued kind of season this year. But the events have still been happening. Awards are still being given out. And if you do the math, you can kind of figure out where the Oscars are going to line up. Now, people thought Emilia Perez would actually get 14 nominations or possibly 15, which would make it the most nominated film in Oscar history. As it is, it's one behind La La Land, All About Eve, and Titanic. So still a very impressive number, but it at 13 nominations, but it will not take home all 13 nominations. I think this year, The Brutalist, which is nominated in all the marquee categories, is the movie to beat, and it's nominated for 10 Academy Awards, including Best Director, Best Picture, and Best Actor.
Which is interesting because I know a handful of people who have seen it. I know the two things are not connected, but...
Well, you know, this is a film. It's a difficult movie. It's 3.5 hours long. It comes with an intermission. There's a 15-minute intermission. And it's a very heavy film about an architect from Hungary who survived the Holocaust, who ends up in America, and he has to fight against prejudice. He reaches for the American dream, finds that it's not exactly what he thought it would be. It's a very, very heavy, big, serious Oscar film, which means that probably not a lot of people, frankly, have been rushing to the theaters to see it. It's a very good film, but it's a very difficult film.
All right, we're just going to pop up the other nominees in this category for Best Picture. Anara, The Brutalist, A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Dune Part 2, Emilia Perez, I'm Still Here, Nickel Boys, The Substance, and Wicked. Okay, we have to talk about Best Actress because, of course, The Substance has now been nominated for Best Picture. We see Demi Moore also nominated. This looks like a really tough category, which is the reason I wanted to highlight it with you. Richard, do you want to make a prediction?
Well, I think very likely that Demi Moore could take this. And I'm saying that because while the movie is kind of a strange body horror film, it's also about Hollywood. It's also about aging in Hollywood and how actresses of a certain age have difficulty landing roles after, say, age 50, as this character that Demi Moore plays in the film does. And you've got her momentum from the Golden Globes. She won the Golden Globe and got up on that stage and made a story, made it an acceptance speech that connected with audiences, that spoke to everyone that was listening. It was a very specific thing. You've got a big glamorous movie star winning an award, but she had this speech that was universal in the messages of, doing better in your life, resilience, aging gracefully, all that kind of stuff. It was an amazing speech, and I think that gave her some headwinds here.
Okay. I heard people in the newsroom say today they loved it. I don't know if you could love it, though. It's so weird. But anyway,
I kind of loved it.
You loved it, too? Okay, I'm totally in the minority then. So that leads nicely to my last question. We've got less than a minute. I wanted to ask you about the snubs. And when you're talking about Demi Moore, a lot of people are also talking about Pamela Anderson's role in The Last Showgirl, and there was Oscar buzz around her. Would you consider that a snub?
I would consider that a snub. I think that she had, again, a lot of headwinds moving into Oscar season. She garnered a number of nominations, and it's the kind of performance that the Oscars generally love. It's a comeback performance. It's something that feels almost taken from Pamela Anderson's life. She's someone who was kind of chewed up and spit out by show business in the 90s and the early 2000s. Now she's come back. There's a documentary. There's a lead role in a film. She's showing talent that was never on display before in this movie, The Last Showgirl, which you can see in theaters this weekend. And she's tremendous in it. So, yeah, that is a snub for me. Absolutely.
Me too. I love her. Totally unbiased.
Well, I'll tell you, I hosted an event with her last year, and when I brought her out on stage, There were 600 people in the audience, and it was like I just said, ladies and gentlemen, Elvis Presley, bring her out. And people loved her. They stood, they applauded, they cheered. It was so kind of gratifying to see.
Yeah, read her book too. All right, we're going totally off track here. Richard, good to see you this morning. You take care. Appreciate your time.